Changwoner, the social media podcast for Changwon City, South Korea, with your hosts, Scott and Dee.
All right, welcome to this week's episode of the Changwoner Podcast. Once again, I'm Scott, sitting across is Dee. Dee, how's it going?
Good, man. I'm excited to do this this new kind of podcast we got. This is pretty much the first Skype podcast from an actual studio. We tried to do this from our house before, but this is much better.
Yeah, so this week via Skype, we've got Jason Brabson here with us.
Blast from the past.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
Where are you now, Jason? What part of the world are you in?
Fort Collins, Colorado.
And it's like 15 hours difference from Korea?
Yep. Yep. We got about 8:52 in the AM. Tuesday morning. So yeah, you guys are what? 11, almost 11 or 12?
Yeah, almost 12. It's like 10 to 12 right now. That's cool, man. So you've been gone for about a year and a half, is that right?
Yeah, I left last July, so year and a half. Seems like I told you before we started, it seems like it's been a long time.
Yeah, well, I've seen big changes of you. Like I can tell that you're happier, man. I can tell that you're happier just from
for sure.
Just from the posts you put on. They're really positive and stuff you have going on Facebook and stuff like that. I've been really enjoying it, man. You've got some good stuff going on.
Cheers. Yeah, I think it's not so much where the location, it is just changing the mindset a lot, to be honest, man.
Yeah.
Age, where I'm at and stuff, and just a choice to be positive and to look at the world in a different way. I'm still pain in the ass. I drive my family nuts and shit, but just doing it in a positive way.
Yeah.
And it's huge. I feel bad the last couple of years I was in Korea. It was a little difficult. I was probably a little tough to be around at times, I imagine. But new place, new beginning. And my family's been amazing. Jungmi and the boys have been phenomenal. So it's been good, man.
Yeah. So what are you up to right now? We talked about this before, but tell everybody else what's going on with you.
Yeah, just again, it's one of those things where it's been one of the best years I've had, best year and a half. But that's you're looking at again how you look at it, right? Because changing careers, moving across the world, being out of work probably 6 months. I mean, I applied for like 50, maybe 100 government jobs, not an interview. And I'm like, I'm looking at the qualifications and I'm just like, okay. So I took a job I worked at Tynan's Kia. So I sold Kia cars for a while, about 6 months.
I was wondering how that went. Yeah, I was curious about
cool.
that.
I mean, I didn't do commission. Like when you first start, they give you an option to do commission or do salary. So the salary is as much as like maybe 2.5 million won a month, and then you get a little bit extra if you sell cars and stuff. And I sold like 10 cars, 12 cars a month, but it was cool because it took the pressure off and I could just do it my way, which was, we're supposed to like bring an offer and then they would say, okay, we can't do that much. And then you go back up to the front, you act like you're negotiating. And I would just be honest with everybody. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go up and back about 3-4 times. Just pick a bottom line price of what you want to pay, bottom line monthly pay, and just work with people. Be honest with them. It's a huge purchase. And people appreciated it.
Yeah, no honey dicking. Yeah,
not so much.
Oh yeah,
the new manager after a while, I think they maybe sent in like a secret shopper on me, and again, I would just be honest with people. I wasn't trying to fuck over the dealership. I still sold a good amount but I didn't want to be a salesman like that. Like hey, here's the tricks, here's the.
Yeah, you don't want to be cutthroat kind of guy.
No, I mean, you just want to be honest with people, man. Again, The cars sell themselves. Kias are fucking awesome cars. 10-year, 100,000 year warranty in America. I mean, top rated safety. I mean, you can't go. I'm selling fucking Kias now, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did that 6 months, got canned, which was awesome. I walked out. I was like, see ya. I applied for more jobs, did all that shit, and finally I saw a job for a mobility driver for yellow cab. Right, and there's not much yellow cab up here. There's compared to Korea, dude, there's no taxis up here.
Yeah,
it's insane.
No.
So
what's more popular, Uber or is it Yellow Cab? And is Yellow Cab just the normal take you to one place to another type driver?
Yeah, it's like 50-50. They also do a lot of this medical stuff that I'm going to start doing. They do it with untrained people. I mean, again, I don't want to badmouth a bunch of people, but it's not the way it should be. You have a lot of independent contractors who can either pick people up or not pick people up. And you can't have that when you're talking about people with disabilities and seniors who are waiting to go to, important medical appointments or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you about that in a sec. But so I took the job at Yellow Cab thinking, okay, a mobility driver. And about 2 weeks into it, I was loving it. That's when I bought my big purple car because I told my wife, I found the thing that I love to do. And, picking up people are like, really? You love that? But you get to help people every day, which is awesome. But about 2 weeks into it, I had an incident. One of the ladies I was driving, they didn't properly put her in a wheelchair underneath her blanket and stuff. It's like the hospice's job in the dialysis clinic. And we were about halfway home and she started slipping out of her wheelchair.
Uh-huh.
So I had to pull over, pick her up, and help her get her back into her chair. But she was paralyzed from chest down, so it was difficult, yada, yada, yada. Awesome lady. But I tore my bicep tendon in my elbow and in my shoulder. Yeah. So I ripped that out, a couple weeks of, swollen, couldn't work, blah, blah, blah. But I got back to it actually a couple of days, and I got back to work. It was awesome. I loved it. But I could see there was major problems. So after seeing people not being picked up on time, people being left at appointments, and, it was bad. And it still is. So got together my wife, my dad, and some other people and said, let's do something.
And so you're making now your own company to do the same thing, right?
Yeah, except we're not going to be a taxi or an Uber. What we need in this, for this kind of thing, I mean, think about if it's your grandma, your sister, whoever, somebody would, if you have certain disabilities, yeah, a taxi's fine. And we need in this area, in most of America, it's so rural, you need a lot of help. So you need a multitude of things. We need to raise the standards for everybody because there's not a lot of sensitivity training. There's no multicultural training. A lot of the taxi drivers are just, it's a temporary job for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It needs to be a permanent thing because the growing population of elderly and people with chronic disabilities is huge in America and growing. And they're not really addressing. It's like, I think the national budget for this kind of transportation is like 0.02% of the Medicaid budget, which is crazy. You have all these amazing things that they set up for people to get better and to help them with their illnesses, or and then no way to get there, and create a situation where it's even more stressful and more, So anyway, did that, was awesome. So we decided to open the company, jumping through some hoops right now, but we're getting close. I mean, really close. And super excited. Everyone, it's killing me not to drive because it really is one of the best jobs I've ever had, for sure.
That's inspiring because, like we were talking about before, I want to come back to the States at some point, but I just don't know where I could end up and where my wife would be happy and what I'm saying,
Fort Collins, dude.
Fort Collins, yeah, could be in there.
I'm telling people, when I tell people about the drive, I'm like, yeah.
Well, I used to be a transporter when I was 18 years old. I used to go to patients' rooms in the hospital and have to take them to X-ray and surgery and physical therapy and things like that. And we had to be, and this is my question I had for you before. Do you have to get special certifications like CPR and first aid when you're doing this kind of thing?
Well, that's a good question, man. That's why we're doing this. Is right now, no. Right now, they don't. When I got a job with Yellow Cab and I was hired specifically to do mobility, I had to do like a 10-hour online training course, which covered defensive driving, and then we did a couple days of another guy showing me how to, lock in the wheelchairs and stuff, which were decent there. Yeah. And they're really good now. Like the technology is awesome, but no, there's no sensitivity training. There's nothing. What we're going to do for sure, CPR, first aid for sure.
Yeah.
And beyond that, like, I'm trying to encompass it as like a grassroots thing where what I'm learning, and I've learned a lot, man, there's been awesome people that have been so helpful and so like giving of their time and their knowledge. And it's like you kind of have to be a spoke in the wheel, right? This is healing. This is chronic care. And again, not being picked up and not knowing if you can be there. Think about when you're a kid, the big thing about getting your license is what? You have freedom. You control when and where you go.
Yeah.
This is being stripped away from people. And now, and especially in a lot of places in America, and especially in this area, people don't know who's picking them up. They hope they're going to pick them up in time, but chronically over the last 10 years, people get picked up 2 hours early. Someone will show up, come on, let's go, I'm busy, or not be picked. So it creates this like cycle of fear there. And I give the example of someone who is on dialysis.
Yeah.
And I have some good friends that I've met at the dialysis clinics, really nice guys. But you finish dialysis 3 times a week, recirculating all your blood. For, people that don't know, it's, I had no idea about it, and it's tough. But someone finishes dialysis on a Friday, and then they're supposed to be picked up Monday morning to go to dialysis or something. If they're not picked up, it's a problem. I mean, it can be an emergency room visit, or possibly other serious complications. If that happens on a routine basis, it really starts playing with people.
Yeah, it starts making them very, very anxious and stuff like that. It creates more problems, more
Exactly.
medical problems and stuff.